Welcome to Chess Tactics Explained Part 9. So here is white to move. And what to do now? In this position there is only one move that allows the equal game. Everything else wins for white. So what's the best move here? For black. Taking this bishop. And now also attacking the queen and the pawn. So in this position, if white promotes here with the queen, then rook takes the queen and black has a big advantage. So in this position the best white can do is to give check either by f8 or f4. And here is another problem. It is black to move. Black wins the pawn, and now to win white must get rid of something called the amateur's mind, because now white has to think carefully. There are two good moves for white, and let's start with the strongest move. So note that this pawn is hanging, and this is simple because if knight takes this pawn, then black cannot play like this because rook takes queen. So there is an annoying pin here that allows a triple fork. So this must be good. Let's play this. In this position this queen has to escape either here or here. Let's say he goes here, then white wins the rook and black wins the knight. And notice that white has a decisive advantage. Okay, and also a good move, but not as strong, is to play like this, and it leads to queen's exchange. And note that if queen goes from here, then rook wins this bishop. So let's play this. And also one pawn more. And white is one knight ahead. Here is another problem. It is black's move. And what to do now? White can win this pawn. It isn't a bad move, but there is something better. Note that black's queen cannot escape from the square, because all of them are attacked by white's pieces. And if white plays like this, attacking the queen, then the queen is trapped. So now only black can attack white's queen. And what to do now? If white takes this queen, then black captures white's queen with check, and after king goes to g2, then black wins the knight, and then this rook captures the knight. And after this sequence of moves, black is one pawn ahead. So it isn't a good idea. But if we capture this knight, then still this queen is trapped, and black can only play like this, sacrificing the queen for a bishop. Then we win the queen, and black wins the rook. And white has the advantage. Here is another problem. It is white's move. Now it's check. And what to do? We can play either king to h7, but then we lose the exchange queen for rook, or we can just grab this rook here and trade our queen for rook and bishop. So this is definitely a better choice. And now the game is equal. Here is another problem. It is black's move. And what to do now? Note that it would be very good for white to have the possibility to play like this, because it attacks the king and gives the threat of this pawn promotion. But this rook is preventing white from playing this. But if we somehow get rid of this rook, then white should have the game in his pocket. So why don't we capture this knight? If now black captures the rook, then the aim of white is achieved. However, black can play like this. It's the best move for black, because keeping this rank protected is now black's priority. However, if black doesn't see these threats and wants to grab material and win the exchange knight for the rook, then he has trouble, because now it's check, and now the best move for black is to defend with the rook here, then pawn takes and black loses in a few moves. So instead of this, if black plays rook, if black plays king here, then pawn forks like this with check, and now it's checkmate. If instead black goes here, it is the same but a little longer. Check, 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 and checkmate. Here is another problem. It is black's move. And now note that there are two queens opposite each other, but there is only bishop between them. If we could use this bishop to check black's king, then we would gain the necessary tempo to capture like this, since this queen is hanging. But how to do this? This king is on white squares and we have a black square bishop. But note that there is a rook, and we can sacrifice the rook for the knight. And now there is only one legal move for black, to capture the rook. And note that it is now possible to check black's king, winning the tempo to capture the queen. Here is another problem. It is white's move, and now it's check. What to do now? Black can either move to safety, like this or like this, or he can capture with his queen here. So which of them is the best? After calculating all the three variations, it turns out that queen takes is the strongest move. Why? Because now, if white takes the queen, then it's bishop takes f2 checkmate. And if white manages to see the threat of upcoming checkmate, he cannot win this queen here, and he has just lost a knight. So he must defend against the checkmate, and now also he loses another pawn. So after this sequence of moves, black is one knight ahead. Here is another problem. It is black's move, and black wins the queen. And what to do now? Note that if white captures the queen here, then black wins also the rook, and black has a decisive advantage. So we must play something better here. Note that the knight can give check here, and then the king cannot move here because it's attacked by the rook. So the king will have to go here, and then we can bring a rook to the 8th rank. So let's see how it looks. Check, moving to safety, check again, defending against check, and checkmate. Take a look at this problem. It's black's move, and what to do now? White doesn't have any attacks. What's more, black is threatening to advance with his pawn to promotion, and white cannot go here because then knight captures. But it's not true actually. If pawn goes here, then note that it opens the pin, and bishop now pins the knight to the king, and this knight cannot take here. And it means that white is going to win this game. Here is another problem. It is white's move, and white wins a pawn. And what to do now? The obvious move is pawn takes rook, but is it the strongest move? If we capture here, then queen captures here. Additionally, this queen must stay on this rank to defend against the threat of checkmate here. So let's see how it looks like. If pawn takes rook, then queen takes, doubling the rooks because nothing better can be done, and black wins, and white wins another pawn. And after defending the check, white goes here, and now white won a knight and 2 pawns for a rook. So after this sequence of moves, black has some advantage. But how to make a big advantage for black? A good tactician should notice that this rook is threatening checkmate here. Only the queen is defending here and the rook here. But if rook plays here, it is only delaying first capturing the queen and second capturing the rook with checkmate. But this knight is preventing from rook coming to here, threatening checkmate in 3. But if we capture this knight and if white captures the queen like this or like this, it doesn't matter. Now it is check, then queen defends, check, check, rook defends, and checkmate. So in this position this queen is untouchable, and white can play, for example, like this. Then black wins a pawn and another pawn, and black has advantage.